از آن دل خستگانت راستند و میفراهم تو را من چشم در راهم تو را من چشم در راهم شبا هنگام در آن دم که بر جا در رها چون مرد ماران خفتگانم در آن نوبت که بندد دست نیلوفر به پای سر کوهی دانم گرم یاد آوری آرد من از یادت نمی کاهم
Welcome to another reading of 1001 Nights. My name is Saman Giraud and I'll be your host this evening. The song you just heard, stop it! Hey! Stop! Wow, those were my two cats, as you could hear. So, nothing happened. It's all good. The song you just heard was by our musical director, Kamyab. It's called You. In Farsi, to. All right. Apologies for the interruption. We will try and have a relaxing reading. All right. Now when it was the 485th night, she said, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when Hazib reached the hillock, he found it of green jasper, surmounted by a golden throne, studded with all manner gems, round which were set many stools, some of gold, some of silver, and others of leek green emerald. He clomb the hillock and, counting the stools, found them 12,000 in number. Then he mounted the throne which was set on the centre, and seating himself thereon, fell to wondering at the lake and the stools. And he marvelled till drowsiness overcame him, and he dropped asleep." Oh my God, stop! Hey! Stop! Aus! Ausis! Well, thank God nobody's watching right now. Stop it! Stop! Stop! All right. Oh goodness. Well, he dropped asleep. I'm sorry. Presently, he was aroused by a loud snorting and hissing and rustling. So he opened his eyes and, sitting up, saw each stool occupied by a huge... Okay, I need to sort this out. I'm really sorry. Presently, he was aroused by a loud snorting and hissing and rustling. So he opened his eyes and, sitting up, saw each stool occupied by a huge serpent, 100 cubits in length. At this sight, great fear got hold of him. His spittle dried up for the excess of his dread, and he despaired of life as all the eyes were blazing like live coals. Then he turned towards the lake and saw that what he had taken for shimmering water was a multitude of small snakes. None knoweth their compt save Allah the Most High. After a while, there came up to him a serpent as big as a mule, bearing on its back a tray of gold, wherein lay another serpent which shone like crystal, and whose face was as that of a woman, and who spake with human speech. And as soon as she was brought up to Hasib, she saluted him, and he returned the salutation. Thereupon one of the serpents seated on the stools came up, and lifting her off the tray, set her on one of the seats, and she cried out to the other serpents in their language. Whereupon they all fell down from their stools and did her homage. But she signed to them to sit, and they did so. Then she addressed Hasib, saying, "Have no fear of us, O youth, for I am the queen of the serpents and their sultana." When he heard her speak on this wise, he took heart, and she bade the serpents bring him somewhat of food. So they brought apples and grapes, and pomegranates and pistachio nuts, and filberts and walnuts and almonds and bananas, and set them before him. And the queen serpent said, "Welcome, O youth, what is thy name?" Answered he, "Hasib Karim al-Din." And she rejoined, "O Hasib, eat of these fruits, for we have no other meat, and fear thou nothing from us at all." Hearing this, he ate his fill and praised Allah Almighty, and presently they took away the trays from before him, and the queen said, "Tell me, O Hasib, whence thou art, and how camest thou hither, and what hath befallen thee?" So he told her his story from first to last, the death of his father, his birth, his being sent to school where he learnt nothing, his becoming a woodcutter, his finding the honey cistern, his being abandoned therein, his killing the scorpion, his widening the crevice, his finding the iron door, and his coming up to the queen. And he ended his long tale with saying, "These be my adventures, from beginning to end, and only Allah wotteth what will betide me after all this." Quoth the queen, after listening to his words, "Nothing save good shall betide thee." And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day, and ceased to say her permitted say. Now when it was the 486th night, she said, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the serpent queen had heard his story, she said, 'Nothing save good shall betide thee. But I would have thee, O Hasib, abide with me some time, that I may tell thee my history, and acquaint thee with the wondrous adventures which have happened to me.' 'I hear and obey thy haste,' answered he. And she began to tell in these words the adventures of Bulukiya. Know thou, O Hasib, there was once in the city of Cairo a king of the Banu Israel, a wise and a pious, who was bent double by poring over books of learning. And he had a son named Bulukiya. When he grew old and weak, and was nigh upon death, his grandees and officers of state came up to salute him, and he said to them, "O folk, know that at hand is the hour of my march from this world to the next, and I have no charge to lay on you, save to commend to you care my son Bulukiya." Then said he, "I testify that there is no God save thee, God." And heaving one sigh, departed the world. The mercy of Allah be upon him. They laid him out and washed him and buried him with a procession of state, and he ruled of great state. Then they made his son Bulukiya sultan in his stead, and he ruled the kingdom justly, and the people had peace in his time. Now it befell one day that he entered his father's treasuries to look about him, and coming upon an inner compartment, and finding the semblance of a door, opened it and passed in. And lo, he found himself in a little closet, wherein stood a column of white marble, on the top of which was a casket of ebony. He opened this also, and saw therein another casket of gold, containing a book. He read the book, and found in it an account of our Lord Muhammad, whom Allah bless and preserve, and how he should be sent in the latter days, and be the Lord of the first prophets and the last. On seeing the personal description, Bulukiya's heart was taken with love of him. So he at once assembled all the notables of the children of Israel, the Cohens or diviners, the scribes and the priests, and acquainted them with the book, reading portions of it to them, and adding, O folk, needs must I bring my father out of his grave and burn him. The lieges asked, Why wilt thou burn him? And he answered, Because he hid this book from me and imparted it not to me. Now the old king had excerpted it from the Torah or Pentateuch, and the books of Abraham, and had set it in one of his treasuries and concealed it from all living. Rejoined they, O king, thy father is dead. His body is in the dust, and his affair is in the hands of his Lord. Thou shalt not take him forth of his tomb. So he knew that they would not suffer him to do this thing by his sire, and leaving them he repaired to his mother, to whom said he, O my mother, I have found in one of my father's treasuries a book containing a description of Muhammad, whom Allah bless and keep, a prophet who shall be sent in the latter days, and my heart is captivated with love of him. Wherefore am I resolved to wander over the earth till I foregather with him. Else I shall die of longing for his love. Then he doffed his clothes and donned an other gown of goat's hair and coarse sandals, saying, O my mother, forget me not in thy prayers. She wept over him and said, What will become of us after thee? But Bulukiya answered, I can endure no longer, and I commit my affair and thine to Allah, who is Almighty. Then he set out on foot Syria-wards, without the knowledge of any of his folk, and coming to the seaboard found a vessel, whereon he shipped as one of the crew. They sailed till he made an island, where Bulukiya landed with the crew, but straying away from the rest, he sat down under a tree, and sleep got the better of him. When he awoke, he sought the ship, but found that she had set sail without him. And in that island he saw serpents as big as camels and palm trees, which repeated the names of Allah, be he extolled and exalted, and blessed Muhammad, whom the Lord is sane and safe, proclaiming the unity and glorifying the glorious. Whereat he wondered. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. Now when it was the 487th night, she said, "It hath reached me, auspicious king, that when Bulukiya saw the serpents glorifying God and proclaiming the unity, he wondered with extreme wonder. When they saw him, they flocked to him, and one of them said to him, 'Who and whence art thou? And whither goest thou, and what is thy name?' Quoth he, 'My name is Bulukiya. I am of the children of Israel, and being distracted for love of Muhammad, whom Allah bless and keep, I come in quest of him. But who are ye, O noble creatures?' Answered they, 'We are of the dwellers in the Jahannam hell, and Almighty Allah created us for the punishment of Kafirs.' 'And how came ye hither?' asked he. And the serpents answered, 'Know, O Bulukiya, that hell of the greatness of her boiling breatheth twice a year, expiring in the summer and inspiring in the winter. And hence the summer heat and winter cold. When she exhaleth, she casteth us forth of her maw, and we are drawn in again with her inhaled breath.' Quoth Bulukiya, 'Say me, are there greater serpents than you in hell?' And they said, 'Of a truth, we are cast out with the expired breath, but by reason of our smallness. For in hell every serpent is so great that were the biggest of us to pass over its nose, it would not feel us.' Asked Bulukiya, 'Ye sing the praises of Allah, and invoke blessings on Muhammad, whom the Almighty has slain and saved. Whence wot ye of Muhammad?' And they answered, 'O Bulukiya, verily his name is written on the gates of paradise, and but for him Allah had not created the worlds, nor paradise, nor heaven, nor hell, nor earth. For he made all things that be, solely on his account, and hath conjoined his name with his own in every place. Wherefore we love Muhammad, whom Allah bless and preserve.' Now hearing the serpents converse did but inflame Bulukiya's love for Muhammad, and yearning for his sight, so he took leave of them, and making his way to the seashore, found their ship, made fast to the beach. He embarked therein as a seaman, and sailed, nor ceased sailing till he came to another island. Here he landed, and walking about a while, found serpents great and small. None knoweth the number, save Almighty Allah. And amongst them a white serpent, clearer than crystal, seated in a golden tray borne on the back of another serpent, as big as an elephant. Now this, O Hazib, was the serpent queen, none other than myself. Quoth Hazib, 'And what answer didst thou make him?' Quoth she, 'Know, O Hazib, that when I saw Bulukiya, I saluted him with a salam, and he returned my salutation, and I said to him, Who and what art thou? And what is thine errand? And whence comest thou, and whither goest thou?' Answered he, 'I am of the children of Israel. My name is Bulukiya, and I am a wanderer for the love of Muhammad, whose description I have read in the revealed scriptures, and of whom I go in search. But what art thou, and what are these serpents about thee?' Quoth I, 'O Bulukiya, I am the queen of the serpents, And when thou shalt foregather with Muhammad, whom Allah assain and save, bear him my salutation. Then Bulukiya took leave of me and journeyed till he came to the holy city, which is Jerusalem. Now there was in that stead a man who was deeply versed in all sciences, more especially in geometry and astronomy and mathematics, as well as in white magic and spiritualism. And he had studied the Pentateuch and the Evangel and the Psalms and the books of Abraham. His name was Affan, and he had found in certain of his books that whoso should wear the seal ring of our Lord Solomon, man and jinn and birds and beasts and all created things would be bound to obey him. Moreover, he had discovered that our Lord Solomon had been buried in a coffin which was miraculously transported beyond the 7 seas to the place of burial. Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased to say her permitted say. Oh, I love this story. We're definitely going to mark this one maybe for a special reading. Thank you very much for tuning in. My sincere apologies for the cat fights at the beginning. Yes, those are my 2 cats. They're both standing still like little statues right now. Anyways, I still hope you enjoyed the reading and that you have a wonderful night, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in this beautiful world. And I'll see you on Thursday. Joanna will be tuning in tomorrow and we'll continue this wondrous tale of the Queen Serpent. And as usual, remember to go inwards instead of outwards. Sending you much love. Thank you.